Do you have demographic information on Crown Heights? And again, I can check these figures for you. I can look it up specifically. The Hasidim comprise only 10% of the population of the neighborhood of Crown Heights. The Crown Heights conflict has been brewing on and off for 20 years now, since the Hasidim developed some serious numbers and some strength in Crown Heights, and since the African American and the Caribbean American communities came to make up the dominant culture in Crown Heights. Very important to remember. Bias, those things which are expressed as bias, those things which we at the Human Rights Commission could consider to be bias, really does have the same trappings of bias, which is complaints based on a characteristic, not on knowledge of a specific person.
Lots of people out on the sidewalk, talking, playing, drinking beer, whatever, be in that type of neighborhood. A car driven by a Hasidic individual was hit by another car and went up onto the pavement. The driver, seeing that he was definitely going to hit someone, deliberately stared at the building so as to avoid the people. Obviously, for the most part, he was successful. Regrettably, one child was killed and another child was wounded.
Everybody knew it was the Rebbe. The Grand Rebbe comes charging through the neighborhood at 70 miles an hour. They are afraid of the Satmars. These Lubavitch people are such enigmatic people, such an interesting combination of simplicity and sophistication. And the Satmars were their sworn enemies, have threatened to kill the Rebbe. So wherever he goes, he's going to be whisked.
The driver, seeing that he had hit the child, leapt out of the car and tried to physically lift the car. Well, while he was doing this, the African Americans were beating him already. They beat him so badly, he had to have stitches in his scalp and in his skull. 15 or 16 stitches.
When the ambulance came, they were more interested to take care of their own than to worry about some boy, some black boy, who lay dying in the street.
The Hasidic community has a volunteer ambulance corps. It is completely funded by the nations. It does not receive 1 penny of government support. When the Hasidic ambulance arrived on the scene, the city EMS ambulance was already on the scene, and as a matter of fact, asked the Hasidic ambulance for some pieces of equipment that they needed in order to take care of the Cato kid. There were also 2 or 3 police cars on the scene. The police saw the potential for violence and saw that the Hasidic passengers were afraid for their lives. So the Hasidic ambulance took the Hasidic passengers away at the behest of the police.
This kid from Australia, his parents were Holocaust survivors. He didn't have to die. What happened on Utica Avenue was an accident. Jewish people do not drive vans into 7-year-old boys. You want to know something? Black people don't drive vans into 7-year-old boys. Hispanic people don't drive vans into 7-year-old boys. It's just not done. People like Jeffrey Dahmer, maybe they do it. But average citizens do not go out and try to deliberately kill 7-year-old boys. It was an accident. You know, they say that the Eskimos have 70 words for snow. We probably have 70 different kinds of bias, racism, prejudice, and discrimination, but we are not of the mindset to be clear about it. And so I think we have sort of lousy language on the subject, which is in part reflective of our unwillingness to deal with it honestly and to sort it out. I think we have very, very bad language